Good Sunday morning, everyone, and welcome back from Thanksgiving break. I hope everyone has had a chance to kind of decompress and relax and enjoy time with family. And if you're like me, get caught up on sleep and just basically sit around and do nothing. That's what I've done for the past 5 days, and it has been lovely. So we are wrapping up our final 3 weeks of class, and with that being said, this week is the week that we are going to turn in our final portion of our Global Health Issues and Ethics paper. So no other reading to do this week, no matching questions, nothing other than this paper. So I'm hoping that you did not spend a lot of time over Thanksgiving working on it. I'd rather you work on it this week while we're actually in session. So with that being said, I wanted to just go over a few specifics. If I can get I guess I have to do this. Okay, so as I have mentioned before, I am not picky on formatting style. This is not an English class. You write in whatever style you are comfortable with. That being said, if you would like to include a cover page and or a running head, you are certainly more than welcome to. This may end up being a paper that you wish to put in your portfolio at some time. So if that is your wish, please feel free to do so. And just know that I'm not going to mark you off either way if you do not format it in a certain way. Really what I am looking for is quantity, thoughtfulness, passion, honesty, and content in this paper. We've talked so much about so many global health issues and so much about the ethics involved that I really want to just see that you've been able to grasp the overall context of this class and put it into some kind of signature assignment such as this. So again, in-text citations will drive me crazy and could, if you leave them out, cause you to fail the assignment. At the end of this presentation, I've kind of given a breakdown of how I will grade this paper. As far as content and quantity, you know the guidelines, 3 to 5 new pages. This does not include the reference page. Absolutely, you need to cite references in text. And I'm not picky. I don't really care about which format you do it in. Parentheses with the last name and the year is fine. If you have any questions throughout this week as you're citing these, please let me know. So scrolling down to part 4, so we are really going to be discussing our topic in depth now. So this is where I want to hear your opinion and thoughts. What would you change in a perfect world? What can you do in an imperfect world? I apologize for that brief interruption. Anyway, as I was saying, this final part of the paper will be due by next Sunday, December 4th at 11:59 p.m. Please note that I am not going to take any late submissions on this. These take a long time to grade. And with 3 sections of this class, that's about over 100 pages or over 100 papers to grade. So if I accept late papers, it's not fair to anybody. So as you have seen throughout class, I am very fair at grading. I really am looking at content in this. So if you're putting forth some thoughtfulness, some effort, some honesty, you're going to do fine. But bringing up the references, I am asking that you use at least 5 references in the paper to show that you have done due diligence in research. So for any reference that you miss, there will be a deduction of 5 points. So references alone, your 5 references will be worth 25 of the 100 points. In-text citations, for each one that you miss, it will be a deduction of 2 points. Those can add up pretty quickly, so they can very easily take an A paper down to a C or lower. One thing I do want to mention, I know several of you have been writing on these assignments, you've been writing one long continuous paper, which I think is great. If you want to continue to do so, please feel free. Just note that you will need to have 3 to 5 pages of new material for this final portion. And this does not include the reference page. So that reference page is part of your previous assignment. And you've got your ethics portion and your introduction already written. So this 3 to 5 pages is kind of an overall summation of your thoughts, viewpoints, research, really just kind of tying everything together, but I do want it to be new material. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to email me or use the Ask My Instructor link on Blackboard. These next few weeks are going to be fast and furious, but we are on the downhill slope. We've got this paper due this week. Next week, I believe, is week 15, in which we will have a normal week with reading, PowerPoint, and discussion board. And then our final will be the week after that. And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the final will be a bit funky because I'm not going to put it into a test format in Blackboard. It's too convoluted to do that. There's just no way to do it accurately. I would rather leave it in the Word format that I've got and then grade it by hand, because the weird thing about Blackboard and tests is if the answers don't match exactly, you lose points for it, and I don't want to put you guys through it. And sometimes it's just easier to go ahead and grade things by hand. So what I would like you all to do at this point, check your points, make sure I'm not missing anything, making sure the grade book is correct in your analysis, kind of making sure we're all on the same page going into these last few weeks. And please ask me if any questions on this final part of the paper, and I will see you all next Sunday. Have a great week. Welcome back. Try not to let this stress you. It's actually a pretty easy assignment. Talk to you guys later.